To WagerTalk Today, the gold standard of sports betting shows where we talk the talk and walk the walk. World Cup continues, and we got a massive trade in the NBA.
Oh, yeah, man. Big slate here that we're going to be getting into. We also have some off-the-board sports that we're going to talk about on the show here today, but 6 matches in the World Cup. And the USA plays, Andy, in a game that basically means nothing. How do we bet it? We're going to find out here on the show. Yanni the Greek is back. He's going to let you know what is happening in the marketplace. But right now, Andy, 30 seconds into the show, what do? We give a play for the day. And we know you're watching that USA game, even though it starts at 10 o'clock tonight. Awesome scheduling spot here. They're playing Turkey. And for some reason, we have a pro-Turkey bet, Andy. What do we got here?
I know it's kind of pro-turkey. Who doesn't love a good turkey sandwich, and who doesn't love a good turkey corner prop? Plus money on over 4.5 corners. Sign me up. Turkey has 12 and 8 corners in their 2 games. Now the U.S. has only given up 1 and 4 in their first 2 games, but like you said, this game doesn't mean anything. I think we see a less than enthusiastic U.S. attack and defense. Turkey playing for pride. We saw it yesterday with Haiti, putting up not 1, but 2 goals on Morocco. So I would expect this to hit in the second half. I don't expect a ton of pressure from the Turkey offense early, but may see some subs here from the U.S. Keep them fresh. Why are we pushing the pace late? And Turkey gets over in the second half with, I would even say like maybe 1, maybe 2 corners in the first half, and then probably 3, 4, 5 in the second half when the U.S. defense is not playing that great. So give me Turkey over on the 4.5 corners at plus money. I think this is a really good price.
Yeah, why not push forward? And honestly, you could argue, I know that Turkey is already eliminated, kind of a shocker for a lot of folks there, but you could argue outside of what they have done in the 2 boxes, they have been one of the better teams in the tournament, at least in the midfield and transition and possession. So they should have the ball. Who knows? I wonder if there will be another own goal in this one, because in both of USA's first 2 matches, the first goal that was signed, sealed, delivered was an own goal. So maybe that's one to eye as well. But we're going over on the corners. Let us know what you are betting in the comments below. Joe Ranieri is going to be here. He's talking Yankees, Red Sox, Diamondbacks, Cardinals. So we'll talk with him from the best betting show ever. Andrew McGinnis, as I alluded to, some off the board sports. How about CFL action? Elks, Bombers, Toronto Argonauts, and the Rough Riders. Best bets for those with one of the best CFL handicappers you'll see. But right now, Andy, let's get into it, brother. We got Yanni the Greek making his triumphant return. Yanni, how we doing, man?
Never better. Busy day, bro. And forgive me, still setting up my office, so kind of working out of the kitchen and living room right now. But just really busy because you see, there's money to be made in multiple markets right now. We do have the World Cup and Major League Baseball, but stock market's just been dropping in a lot of these good names for no reason other than money being transferred and rotated. And I just made my first buy into Palantir at 107. I think has a chance to drop all the way to 80, but I'm starting to layer in. I like the dollar cost average in case I'm wrong. But I mean, Meta's down to that. Buy orders at 525. Things are really cheap right now. Why you always have to have dry powder on the side. With that said, 6 World Cup games, as you touched on, and we got action in pretty much all of them. Let me share what I've seen from the sharp bettors. Personally, I've released 2 4% totals. If we've just stuck the totals throughout this World Cup, we'd be on fire. Number 1 in totals in 2026 for soccer overall, and that's followed through in the World Cup as well. So was able to confirm 2 totals today out of those 6 games. That's available at WagerTalk. Here's some of the sides as well. They hit Germany as soon as that 3-way opened up at -110. They kept betting it all the way to -150. Since then, it's been the public that's made them an almost 2-1 favorite. They also went over 2.5, but the public's betting it at over 3. That's the difference. These guys are getting down early on a lot of these 3-way lines, and even on some of these totals that are moving up half a goal. They took Curacao as well at plus 1,800 and plus 1,700. Goes to show you they're not afraid to take those big dogs or lay the chalk. I've seen a lot of that as well. We'll get to that. They went for over 3 also in that Curacao game. Netherlands, they laid 750 when that line opened immediately. And I also saw some Tunisia get hit. Every time it hit plus 3,000, there was a bet on Tunisia. So at plus 3,000, someone out there really likes Tunisia. And they went over 3 there as well. So far they bet the over in those 3 games. Nothing in Sweden and Sweden and Japan, forgive me, nothing to share there. Sweden, 12 goals in their 2 games, 6-6. So, they got to show up today. Japan sitting pretty. They've outscored their opposition 6-2. We have this handicap pretty much. Japan should win this game about 45% of the time. Sweden should win this game pretty much about less than 40% of the time. And that gives you a tie at about that 20% range. No value in betting it. That's the problem. Netherlands, Tunisia. What do I have there? That was where I just touched on that. They bet both sides of that. Then Australia, Paraguay. They took Paraguay. They bet it 3 different times. They took Paraguay plus 200, plus 190, plus 180, all in the 3-way, and went under 2 at minus 150. That's why you're looking at 1.75s and even 1.5s. At 1.5s, don't be surprised if you see some over money. They like to bet those 1.5s over. And then finally, USA and Turkey. What's the spelling of Turkey? For hundreds of years, we called it Turkey. And now on the commercial, they're calling it Turkish or something like that. It's the same country, right? Regardless, they're betting the over 2.5 in that game. Public heavy on the favorites. Their money line parlaying Germany, Ivory Coast, Netherlands, and USA. That's the 4-team parlay of the day. Germany, Ivory Coast, Netherlands, and the USA in the 4-team money line 3-way parlay. That's what's sticking out the most in soccer today. We do have baseball and WNBA, but most of the volume is on the soccer today for sure.
Are the parlays doing good? I feel like the parlays, the big money line. England.
If I could give one warning to bettors out there, I swear to you, do not put a single parlay in the World Cup. I check the accounts every single day, and I'm telling you, anything red is all parlays. Like, I don't see any green parlays. Like, where someone will hit a nice parlay where they put $20 and they win like 3,000. Zero. I've seen 0 of those since this World Cup started. And I've seen nothing but red, which means, they're just losing because they're tying up 3, 4, 5 team parlays. It's not like they're even doing 2-team parlays, because the problem is if they're tying up 2 of them, they're putting in the big favorites. So what happens is they put a 550 with a 550 and they realize it's not paying anything. So all of a sudden they got to find more teams to add to that. And that's, the kiss of death. Once you do that, once you're looking for stuff and needing to find stuff to bet, that's the kiss of death. That's when you're guessing. And you see a lot of that, where they may nail the parlay if they just would have stopped at 2 legs, but they added 3, 4, 5, and 6 because, those favorites just don't pay enough. And they're not parlaying the dogs. I don't understand why recreational bettors don't do this. Like, I promise you, every day I look in the accounts, and every day, 95 to 99% of every parlay is with favorites. They don't parlay the dogs. I can't understand that. You have baseball right now with plus money. And even like in NBA, college basketball, NFL, college football, they do the exact same thing. They parlay the money lines of the biggest chalk, determining they can't lose. Like, they can't lose. And obviously we know that's just not the case. And I never understand why, like, after losing so many of those, you don't just change tactics and say, you know what, maybe instead of putting 8 favorites, why don't I just try to narrow down 2 dogs that'll end up paying the same, where now I got to go 2-0 instead of 8-0. And I get it. It's the probability of cashing 2 dogs is less likely than cashing 2 favorites, but we're not talking about 2 favorites. We're talking about 7 and 8 favorites that they're adding. So that's my advice. Narrow down 2 nice underdogs. If you need the parlay, look for 2+ money dogs and tie those up, whether it's soccer, baseball, NFL, what have you. If you're going to parlay, at least do that. Don't go laying minus 800s and bridge jumping. Because again, if you want to do that, just go to the track, wait for the 1-5 favorite in every race that there's only about 4 horses, and go to the window and bet that horse to show. Bet, 20,000 to show. You'll probably win $100 every race until it doesn't show. That's why we call them bridge jumpers, because it's good until it isn't. And that's what happens with those big favorites. Don't chase them. Throw in a couple dogs. Don't be afraid of the dogs. They bark all the time.
See, there's been a lot of talk about the goal scoring parlays, the GOATs, the best players to score a couple goals. And I just think people didn't bet it. If you go to social media, you would think everybody bet it, but I don't see that much overreaction from the books. I think it's a talking point. I don't think it's something that actually hit the market. I don't think people betted it.
Andy, I'm sorry. It's just you nailed it. They talk about it and promote it and push it as if bettors are doing this, and they're not. It's like they showed us that day that the 3 draws, and if you put 100, it would on 100 grand, but they can't show us a single ticket of that bet. They can show us what the payout was, but they can't show us a single person that even put 10 cents on that ticket out of the whole world, and not a single ticket can they produce of that bet. And you're absolutely right that's the enticement of, bet these players to score a goal. This is what this would have paid today. But bettors aren't doing it. That's the key. And once they go to do it, it's like it's too late. You know what I mean? Now you are really betting not the improbable, almost the impossible. It was improbable before. Now it's impossible. You're asking them to do it again. And yeah, that's the problem. And you're right. They're just not betting it, brother.
This guy says, I've seen thousands of tickets, brother. First off, you have not seen thousands of tickets. That is, I'm just telling you haven't seen thousands of tickets. If you have seen thousands, they're not all, as they say. Love you, MMA Locksmith, but you have not watched you have not gone to social media and seen thousands tickets. So
hey, show me 5 real ones.
So we'll start at 5.
And that's all the continents, not just the North America. That's all the continents. You could throw Asia, Africa, every sports book on the planet in there. Whip up 5 tickets, brother, and yeah, I'll be impressed.
Let's move to the MLB sport today. Not a ton of games. It's a Thursday, but you got some day games mixed in with some night games.
Yeah, they steamed the under in KC Tampa Bay immediately at 8.5. They took Houston plus 110, and it's not moving all that much because of the heavy one-sided money the other way. A lot of public money opposite Houston today. They went over 7.5 at minus 120 and 125. Texas, Toronto. They took Boston, another anti-public play at plus 145, and the over 7.5. Believe it or not. They're betting the under there. So the Sharps went opposite the public in both, deciding the total in the Boston game. And Boston's one of those teams we have that circled as underperforming as of now. And then finally under in the Athletics and San Francisco at 8.5. So not a lot of moves, but those are legit that they hit so far.
All right. Anything WNBA related tonight?
Only Seattle plus 13.5, plus 12.5, but that was on the overnights. Most of the WNBA action that's actually done well comes late. So if you're going to be monitoring the WNBA board, don't even look at the overnights. Number one, you're going to miss the number. You're not going to be able to get the same number because a nickel will move it 1.5. So kind of, look at what they did, but don't put much stock into it. But about 2 p.m. our time out here on the West Coast, about 5 p.m. Eastern, you'll start seeing WNBA moves start coming in. Whether that's roster related or what, I can't tell you. But that's when I start seeing the legit WNBA moves. Like that's when I'll see some totals come in, some team totals, some first half, like the actual legit stuff, not just, the side action. So pay attention to the market. And that's what's cool with Odds Logic. You could hit those other markets, props and all that. And you see some of those line moves. And I'm not telling you to necessarily follow them, but you can conclude they're short. And a lot of times that'll help you form your decision because you see certain props get hit And like, that's what I do. And I with all markets, like sometimes you won't be able to get down on that, but that information will help you form an opinion elsewhere that gives you value because of those props. Like if they're playing these 3 players points over, maybe I want to look at the game total over or that team total over if I miss those player props. So you just got to get creative sometimes, but the information's there, especially if you're following those smaller markets that aren't hard to determine whether it's sharp or public. It's just the time of the bet that matters more than anything. Because again, the limits are low, so they want to maximize when they could get the most money down. That's why it happens later in the day. I have off-screen accounts right now that they don't even have the WNBA up yet for tonight. About 3 hours before the first game, they'll put the first game, maybe the second game. And then once those games go off, they'll put like the later games, believe it or not, because it's a market, us versus the books. Like it's not, recreational bettors aren't betting it. So the only reason they're even offering it is because they have to, otherwise most wouldn't even want to offer it, to be honest with you, because they're not getting that public volume. So yeah, that's one of those markets that's very beatable, and one you could really pick off a lot of information if you monitor those line moves, especially late.
Any thoughts on UFC? We got a weird card.
We're over in the
we're over in Middle East. Starts at 9 a.m. There's landmines all over the place in this one. So what are you looking at?
You're so right. There's landmines all over the place. And I'll give you one. There's like, my package is up, okay? And I'm going to have multiple plays. I've already have a couple. I'm actually going to add another 1 or 2 today. But I fired the first dog immediately, and I'll share that with you guys now. I gave out Matus Camillo over Sadikov at plus 200. Number one, he shouldn't be a 2-to-1 dog. He hasn't fought yet in 2026, and the last time we saw him was against Slava Claus in November of 2025, where he went to a decision. But what we learned there was that Matus really worked on his cardio, which was the problem in that Gabe Green fight. He doesn't have a lot of UFC history, but he's got fighting history pre-UFC, that respectable opponents. And I think Sadikov, coming off that knockout loss to Ziam, is being a little bit overvalued to bounce back here. Again, he should be about a minus 150. I could understand it where he wins the fight 6 out of 10 times. Maybe I could get there. But it's closer to a coin flip than a 2-to-1 favorite. So that's a little plus money dog for you there on Camillo that I got to the window with as a 4%. But yeah, I do think there's some landmines, like you said, on this card. Main event, Fiziv's a discount, but is he shot? Like old school handicapping, you got to bet Fiziv, right? Because Fiziv just closed about a minus 130, 140 favorite against Houfi. And Houfi's ranked above Torres. Houfi would be favored over Torres. And regardless if Fiziv lost, the betting line is the true story that I pay most attention to. And based on who he's fought, strength of schedule, Fiziv looks like the side. But he's also a Fiziv that's now lost 4 of his last 5 fights. And he's just coming off getting knocked out in 2 of those 3 losses. And even though he's only 32 years old, the same age as his opponent, he's got a lot more wear and tear, that's for sure. So that one's interesting. I haven't bet it yet. I'm interested to hear because I've heard both arguments from guys I respect. But yeah, that one's a really good main event. Kind of overlooked because it's in Baku. But we're going to learn a lot about Fiziv, whether he's shot or kind of like we thought of Gagey, and all of a sudden tables were turned. But with Fiziv, he's actually favored to win this fight.
I've done well betting against Fiziv. They put him up against these absolute monsters. Yeah, and he's just got a pretty. He's got a lower ceiling. He just can't quite break through. And yeah, he's got, like, people look at his record in UFC and they forget he's been in a million Muay Thai fights. So he's got a lot of damage.
And Torres, what happens if it gets to round 2? Like, we haven't seen him fight a second round.
We don't know.
He's had 6 UFC fights, 1 Contender Series fight. None have gone, past 4 minutes, I think.
Yeah. Shara Magomedov, that line's out of control, minus 410. I still think he wins.
Exactly. He wins, but you got to bet the head almost.
Yeah, exactly. And I see money coming in on Bruno Ferreira over Aliskerov, which is kind of a little strange, but oh well. All right, so we have you every Thursday, Yanni.
Yes, sir. Hammer
We got
Thursday.
to do the Thursday. We got to do the Thursday hammer. We got to do a play. So let's go ahead and play the drop here, and I've got a good Thursday hammer for you. All right.
What we got?
Erling Haaland to have at least one header shot on target, plus 245.
You sick maniac.
he,
I don't even know where I would have to scroll through. I'd have to put the reading glasses on to find that bet on the props.
I got to be honest, plus 245 is not that bad of a price. He's the tallest guy on the field. He always gets the headers. I believe he has one in every World Cup game that he's ever played, which is only 2. But details.
You don't have to mention that. Don't mention
there
the
you go.
header on target is the perfect entry to the Thursday hammer. Well
plus
done.
245. There you go, Yanni.
No.
I'm going to bet it, bro. I'm going to bet it. Win or lose, you hammer that bet.
I mean,
well bet it. Yeah.
it might be worth like a couple bucks just to say we hit the Thursday hammer.
We hit the Thursday hammer. It's an amazing
just
thing.
to brag. So all right, what do you have up for everyone today?
I love it. I got the UFC package is up. As I said, I promise you there will be a lot more plays than just Camille. We won 5 of the last 6 UFC cards, so in good form. The World Cup, I narrowed down 2 strongest totals, both 4%. We're crushing those totals, so I stuck to what's winning. Should fire some more World Cup throughout the day. No rush as action comes in. It's still 9 a.m. here on the West Coast. Haven't released baseball yet, but close to confirming when that happens. The Steam sheet will be up with a lot of info. We have CFL information that I put on yesterday that goes off today, tomorrow, I think, over the next couple of days. So a lot of stuff, WNBA, World Cup, Major League Baseball, UFC. So busy couple of days ahead. Best of luck to all. Do some damage, and let's sweep these soccer totals today.
All right, Yanni the Greek. Thank you very much, Yanni. We'll talk tomorrow. So I got to be honest, plus 245 is not that bad of a price. The guy's, he's the best in the business at corners and set pieces with the headers.
So when we right before we were coming on, we were just talking about, because we always run down the World Cup card on the show today, and we'll do the same. But like, there wasn't anything that I really loved. I actually didn't make a single pre-flop bet, I think, for the first day of the tournament here on today's card. So nothing that I love, Andy. So I think I might just bet the Thursday hammer. Again, I'm not going to go crazy with it, but plus 245 for a dude who's like as close to a Viking as you can get in today's day and age to hit a ball with his head on target. Why not? Let's do it. 245. Here we go.
Yeah. Now that game is tomorrow at 3:00. It's tomorrow, but at the end of the show, Dan and I was
going to say I didn't think Norway was playing today, so that's
no. We'll cook up some plays here at the end of the show. We'll go through each and every World Cup game. So don't worry, we're covering World Cup.
Thursday hammer for Friday. I like it, Andy.
Yeah, a couple things in the chat. I did not get my BKFC media credentials, so instead I'll just be doing a live show. I'll be depressed while doing the live show. And yes, I will do a live show. Oh, that's a late Friday show and then an early Saturday UFC card.
Oh, lucky you.
Oh,
lucky
funny.
you.
We have a 5% NASCAR play that is up. That race is on Sunday, but qualifying is Saturday. So get it now, because as soon as qualifying starts, I got to take the play down. So we ran one of these 5% NASCAR plays a few races ago. We hit it, and NASCAR is doing really good. We're on an 8-1 run in auto racing. So this has been one of the better sports, and it's a very bettable track. They're at Sonoma. It's a road course. We have good history here, and there's not a lot of chaos at this track, which is what we really like. This is the track where you don't see a lot of big wrecks or crazy strategy or anything. So 5% best bet that is up right now. That's the big thing that we're and there's more plays attached to it. We've got like 4 or 5 plays attached to this one. So big NASCAR week for us. So go grab that. And we'll cash there. But we got to bring on Joe. And I found this on the social.
What do you got for Joe? What do you got for him? Joe, how we doing, brother?
All right. So this is everything that Minnesota has traded. Okay.
Oh
So
God.
the Timberwolves have in their last two trades, they got Rudy Gobert, LaMelo Ball, and Josh Green. Here's what they've traded away. Naz Reid, Malik Beasley, Patrick Beverly, Leandro Balmaro, Walker Kessler, Jared Vanderbilt, 2023, 25, 27, 29, 33 first round picks, then swaps in 2026, 28, 29, second round 29, second round 32, 33, and first round swap in 30. That's what they've traded for Rudy Gobert and LaMelo Ball.
Jesus Christ.
Joe, like
Good deal.
Someone take away the credit card from the GM. What do you make of? What did you make of this trade?
And there's Julius Vanderbilt. Like, really? And you send me to the Nets? Like, what in the world is going on here? I mean, geez. Listen, it's going to be interesting if they can both play enough games. Listen, LaMelo Ball and Anthony Edwards will be one of the best backcourts in the league. But LaMelo just played 72 games last year. That's the first time, in his career we've seen him play that much. Anthony Edwards also had to, and plus these were two of the most used backcourt guys in the league, man. They played a ton of minutes. Durability to me is going to be a problem. Now, the problem was without Anthony Edwards, Minnesota had to play a little something different. But if they stay healthy, great. But my goodness, it feels like you put an awful lot in that basket there, Minnesota. You still have you still have plenty of shooting when it comes to Charlotte. I don't hate it. Naz Reid not going to hurt them. They needed, they needed to have some sort of big presence there and a big wing and a guy that can actually shoot threes from the outside and spread the floor a little bit. So it's interesting. I'll say that. But if you're Charlotte, ask yourself, why were you getting rid of LaMelo Ball if you thought this guy was really the backcourt of the future? Why would you trade him for Naz Reid unless you thought you had a better option already in-house? It's an interesting move. It really is.
Well, Naz Reid is going to be that's such a much needed veteran toughness. Yes. It's a great fit there. So, but
yep.
This is one of those where it's like, why are they trading LaMelo? But like, I'm with you, Joe. It's like, why are they getting rid of LaMelo Ball? This was a guy that sold a lot of tickets. His social media presence was massive. That guy was a moneymaker for the team, and you're going to trade him.
And he's only 20. I mean, LaMelo's only 24. So
I don't know. So, all right, we got to talk MLB. Dan, I'll let you take it from here. Yankees, Red Sox, Diamondbacks, and Cardinals.
Yeah, Joe, I'm looking forward to hearing your thoughts here as we have everybody's favorite name, Schlittler, who's going to be on the mound here for the Yankees tonight. And they'll be facing some left-handed pitching here with Early. So how are you looking for this series to kick off here, Joe? A lot of eyeballs on this one. What are we thinking?
And a ton of money in the market back in Boston, which I think is hilarious. Yeah, now, let me just explain. Forget about just take it on the surface here. We have Schlittler, the ace of the Yankees, on the mound, heading to Fenway after beating Tariq Skubal last night, and the Yankees have been absolutely crushing it. And they're getting it. Goldschmidt, what do you have? 2 home runs last night. Dominguez had a home run last night. So they're hitting for power. Weather, by the way, is not great. It's not conducive for a high-scoring game, which is why the total is at 7.5. But let's just look at it situationally. The Red Sox are coming 3 games from Seattle. Then they played 3 games in altitude, had a doubleheader, completely threw up all over themselves yesterday with a late-game meltdown against the Rockies. And now they've got to come from altitude, 6 games on the West Coast, to Fenway to take on their division rival. None of that screams, oh, yes, Boston with Early on the mound. Like, no, we've already seen Schlittler beat this lineup here, and now you want to take the Yankees from -160 down to -140? I don't get it. Unless I'm missing something, nothing about this situation screams, oh, Boston is the play. We're fading the Yankees here. I don't get it. In fact, I would look at the Yankees team total going up and over and keeping the Red Sox team total under in this spot here in this game.
Wow, couple different ways to attack it, but all signs pointing towards the Bronx Bombers.
I don't know what I'm missing.
Joe, I thought the same thing. When I looked at that line, it was a little bit head-scratching for sure. And the market movement is even more head-scratching than what the opener was. So, it's a big question mark there as they start off a 3-game set. Interesting, you have a end of a 4-game set, one of those rare midweek 4-game sets here that you have in game 2. But before we talk Arizona and St. Louis, Joe, do want to know what you got rocking here tonight. WT.buzz/JR. What can folks find over at your page?
Well, we got a rare 4% best bet here in Major League Baseball tonight on this card here. Situations abound and opportunities here to fade the market in a few different spots. Most of my plays are 2 and 3% Major League, but 162 game season, 30 teams. There's no reason to make, a whole lot of 4 or 5% bets in Major League Baseball. But I don't put them up often, but when I do for a reason. So there is one that is locked and loaded tonight. You can head over to the page at WagerTalk.com and grab that MLB 4% top play of the day.
Yeah, and you can grab that one, $25, or you can grab the triple day, get some action for the next 3 days, just $49. WT.buzz/JR. All right, Joe, here we go. Diamondbacks and Cardinals. Like I alluded to, 4-game set here. Arizona looking for the series win. However, unfortunately, pitching rotation says it's Gallen's turn up here as they're opposing the Cardinals. What's your thoughts on this one?
Well, we got 2 absolute utter gas cans going here today. Let's not mistake it. Zach Gallen is horrific on so many different levels this year, Dan, and you know it as well as I do. And one of the biggest reasons is he just can't miss any bats. He has not missed any bats here anytime soon. And Minnesota, I think, just lit him up like a Christmas tree. It's not a good situation, but Arizona is coming off the last couple of weeks where they literally couldn't hit water if they fell out of a boat. A lot of opportunities. They couldn't get the hits they needed, left a ton of guys in scoring position, but that started to move in this series here. We saw last night the power finally start to show up for Arizona. But you also have McGreevy on the mound for St. Louis, who also gas can central here. He's another guy he's got tremendous amount of left on base percentage, too high. It's unsustainable here. He's another guy that will give up the long ball. We've got a warm night. Usually Busch Stadium, not very conducive for hitters here. It's a pitcher's ballpark. But boy, oh boy, we got some weather tonight that would be conducive with 2 guys who don't miss bats that we could see some runs in this one here tonight. I think Arizona's finally turned a corner. I think it can only go up from here. I think they're going to score some runs. I absolutely know St. Louis is going to score some runs in this one against Zach Gallen. Both bullpens have been worked. Yeah, give me the over in this one here, Dan. It's the only way I would look at it tonight.
Yeah, I think you're spot on. Over indeed. And again, you're getting a 9 in St. Louis. Okay, you don't really love that. And then you just look at the form of these 2 guys. Forget about it. Who's stopping who? I don't see it either. So 2 gas cans. Maybe it's even worth looking at that first 5 over. Just fade the starting pitchers as well, but it's not like the bullpens behind them are all that much better. So hard to disagree with that one, Joe. So we already talked about what you got rocking tonight. Rare 4%er. Definitely go and grab that over at Joe's page or take advantage of that triple play. Joe, another thing that we always want to mention when you're on here with us is Best Betting Show Ever. It's a show that we don't do live, but it gets published every single day here. Who do you got on the show? Since it's always a return, you never know if Prez is showing up or not. Is he in a poker room? Yeah. Is he in Cabo? Is he at some, up somewhere skiing somehow? So who's on the show today? What do we got going today? And folks should subscribe so they know when it goes live.
Well, we got, it'll be up here shortly. We just finished recording it. But yes, Prez has been back, unfortunately. He's been here all week, unfortunately. But we also have had our man there, Carmine Bianco, on the show the last couple of weeks, all about the World Cup action and what's going on. Nobody's been better at the World Cup than Carmine has. Art DeCisa, of course, today laying out what's going on across the board with these sharp bets over at the Westgate. So, and then there's the Prez. So then they're getting any better than that. So yeah, head on over there. It should be up within the hour. A lot of, if you're betting the World Cup, a lot of good information here from Art and from Carmine that you're going to want to hop on over and check out today for sure.
Yeah, even just over the last 2 World Cups, over 60 unit Carm picks up. So you can check that out. Best betting show ever. Like Joe said, you got the sharp bettors, you got the guy behind the counter taking it all, and then you have the Prez. So, all right, Joe, best of luck, man. Always appreciate you coming on. We'll see you next week. Until then, keep cashing those tickets, brother. Also want to mention, too, Joe Ranieri will be hosting this weekend on Last Call. So if you didn't get your Joe fix all week long, tune in 11 a.m. Eastern every single Saturday. We go live getting you the sharp action that you know and you need headed into the weekend there, Andy.
Yeah, let's bring on Andrew. We got to there's something something I got to talk to Andrew.
Oh, God.
About. All right.
Oh, God.
Well,
Andrew,
well, no,
looking sharp.
What's up,
good,
guys?
Andrew.
How are you?
How you doing, man? You're looking good, brother. I like the sport coat. You're classing up the joint a little bit. I like
I'm doing what I can. I'm just trying to get invited back each week. Trying to get invited back each week.
You keep cashing these CFL tickets. We'll invite you back twice a week, man. Keep it going, brother. So, what's up?
Yeah, busy day. Got a couple different shows. Look forward to doing this with you guys, and I'm actually doing an in-person interview later on today at a studio. So looking forward to that. I'm doing more interviews locally with athletes, fans. Actually, someone that wrote a book here locally about their son grew up with Down syndrome and now an equipment manager for a hockey team or assistant equipment manager.
Awesome,
so
man.
Really cool story. Looking forward to it. So it's been a fun day so far.
All right, Andrew. So last week you came on and you talked about there's all these overs. And it's like, when's the pendulum going to swing? Let me read you guys the scores from last week. 41-27, 44-24, 32-29, and 40-37. I mean, is this the best betting angle ever? Are the books just, when's enough? When do the books start hanging literally 68.5 on the board? So what's your take on all these overs that we're seeing?
My take is I shouldn't have bet an under last week, and I did. Hey, if you want transparency, there we go. We're 8-3 this year, and we did take an under. But yeah, the overs are 9-1 this season, and you just read it off, Andy. It's been phenomenal, and I think the average score is combined is 61, 62 points right now. And there was a point where we were seeing 46s, 48s. A big total was 52.5, right? And there was the game tonight we're going to talk about. The look-ahead line the number was 52.5 for the total. You look now, I mean, you're seeing 57.5, 56.5 at least. So the markets are adjusting. The fact is, Andy, is it enough is our biggest question here. And the big thing, and you and I talk about this every year with our prop show together, is sometimes if you didn't get there on time, is it worth showing up late? Is kind of how I feel with some of these trends. That's the big question right now.
Yeah, I mean, what's crazy is I'm seeing, they're basically all 55.5, 56.5, but then you got over under 1.5 passing touchdowns on these guys. There's only 2 of them that are at 2.5s right now. I mean, I don't know. At this point, is it just a blind over? What are the defenses going to get better? I don't know. Let's talk specifics here. Let's talk about the Elks and the Blue Bombers. That's the game tonight. What's your take on this game?
Yeah, and Andy, that's the funny thing is I remember a couple of years ago, I started off on a huge run with CFL, and it was a large part due to auto betting unders. So it's not like it's always been like this. Things have actually changed because I used to automatically bet unders. So looking at this one here, look, we've got an Edmonton Elks team that some might say are overachieving against a Winnipeg team that's underachieving so far this season. Winnipeg coming off a bye week here. And as I talked about, the look ahead number for the total being 52.5. Now we're seeing get shot up a little bit here, but there's only one way I'd go, and it's the over in this contest here, guys. I mean, look, whether or not Edmonton's can hang on or not, or if Winnipeg can bounce back, we're going to find out. And you guys can find out by grabbing my 5% play on the side. But this game should have some points. Because when you look at what Edmonton's been able to do with Justin Rankin on the ground, with Cody Fajardo through the air and some consistency for them, it's been fantastic. And you look at this Winnipeg team, you know, they have been a better team at home. They get some time to game plan a little bit here. And Zach Collaros is still one of the most prestige quarterbacks in the league. They have a ton of weapons. This should see entertainment. This should have points in it. And the question that you started off the conversation with, Andy, and I threw it back to you with is, you know, if you haven't been in on the party, is it too late to join? And as far as this game is concerned, I don't think you've missed anything. I think people are all welcome to join the CFL overtrain when it comes to Thursday night football. Two quarterbacks that are more than capable of pushing the ball downfield. But I did want to give you a prop here, and I'm going to go with under 86.5 rushing yards for Justin Rankin. My projections have him quite a bit lower here, and this to me is a sell high type of point here. And one of the factors in this one, Andy, and you and I talk about this each year with NFL together, I think this back is going to be involved a lot in the passing game. And every time he gets the ball in the passing game, it'll take away an opportunity for him to be the running back. And I think that this is a high number based on how great he started off his season so far. So Justin Rankin, that's widely available under 86.5 rushing yards. And I do want to throw out one receiving yards prop, and it isn't under. Even though we like the over in the game, there's still a lot of mouths to feed. We'll go Nick Dembski, Winnipeg, receiver, under 54.5 receiving yards.
All right. You said you got a 5% best bet. That's up. Tell us about that one.
Hey, perfect 2-0 so far. Last week, 20-point blowout with the 5% play. So hopefully this one can be like that as well. We'll find out. But looking forward to it. Look, free play on the total. Really do like it. But this is, I think, a side play that I'm feeling pretty confident in. The 5% have been great. In fact, in 2026, at all the handicappers at WagerTalk, we rank number 1 on 5% plays, that category. So we do tell everyone it's 1% higher than a 4% play. But we all know how important those 5s are to hit. We've been pretty good with those as well. So 11-3 run plus 16 units CFL season so far.
All right, Andrew McGinnis, we're going to break down the Argonauts versus the Rough Riders. This is tomorrow. I'm looking at DK Rough Riders minus 3.5, 57.5 on the. It's just wild reading these totals and going, that's not high enough. That's not high enough. We need another over. What do you make of this game?
Well, you know what? Like, I listened into your guys' conversation earlier and the goal scorer parlays. And I will add, guys, I'm going to be a little bit disagreeing here. I did see a lot of slips, and I know some people that cashed those, but a lot of slips that I saw, guys, were the ones the next day that all lost. Everyone trying to run it back after what they already
But Andrew,
saw.
did you see 1,000 of them? We have heard that there were thousands of them. I too did see some winning slips, but yes, thousands. I'm not so sure.
Yeah. So now that's just the question is like, can these overs be sustained? But look, this is an opportunity where I really enjoy looking ahead, right? Like we talk a lot, and I think to Teddy's show he does every Monday here on the WagerTalk program, the opening line report. And, you know, in the CFL, there's a couple different kind of segments of the week for the number. I would say it's like you look ahead, then there's a Sunday night gets attacked. Then you go around Tuesday where we then record CFL betting blueprint here on WagerTalk. And then throughout the week, we start to see some corrections. The look ahead line on this one was Rough Riders minus 5.5. The Argonauts are coming off a blowout victory over the Red Blacks, and the Argonauts were our 5% win. So I was very happy to see it. But this, guys, is where you look at it and you say, hey, if you didn't get the 5.5 on the Argos, you didn't get the 4.5 on the Argos, the only play to make is the Rough Riders. Like if I see one ticket where somebody is taking the Argos plus 3.5, you're just betting a bad number is what you're really doing here. So the Rough Riders to me at home, look, they're missing AJ Ouellette. It's about like 80% chance their best running back is not going to be there. There's been some defensive concerns for them. We haven't quite seen them yet this season. Guys, Chad Kelly, my 5% play quarterback last year, he's got back-to-back games with 400+ yards. He had 4 passing touchdowns, Andy, last week, and 4 interceptions. Like, you do that against the Grey Cup champions, you're not going to win again. He won by 20 points with 4 interceptions.
Airing it out. Just airing it out, like throw caution to the wind. So yeah, his passing props 313.5. So if you think he can do another 400 yarder, he's got another 400 yards in there. That's a prop that you're looking at. So fascinating stuff in the CFL, Andrew. Good job exploiting that market so far. So yeah, hopefully points tonight. We'll hope for that. So Andrew, great work. Appreciate you joining us. Andrew's got a 5% best bet that is up, and have fun with those interviews, man. Those sound like fun.
Thank you. Yeah, really look forward to it. Nice to meet new people. And yeah, I'll share it on my Twitter as well. And Andy, I've been seeing you busy on your Twitter as well. And it's nice to share some personal stuff besides just the sports betting stuff, right? So
yep.
We're all humans besides just what we do here on these videos. So it's nice to show some stuff there as well. I did forget to mention the 30-day coupon code. That is CFL30. It'll take $50 off. So, I mean, if you guys have bought all 3 5% plays so far, or the 2 including today, you might as well buy the 30-day pass. You're going to get every other play and not just the 5% play.
Yep.
So thanks so much, guys. We'll talk to you next week, hopefully.
All right. Andrew McGinnis, 5% best bet that is up. All right, Dan, it's World Cup time. Let's break down all the games today. So we don't have to do a deep dive on all of them, but let's see if we can cook up a play here. We'll start with Ecuador and Germany. Germany is perfect 2-0 in this. Ecuador, they're 1 draw 1. They haven't scored yet.
No,
they're 1-1, and they haven't scored.
It's been
yet.
brutal. That's the thing for Ecuador is, dude, their defense arguably one of, if not one of the top 3 defensive units that's in this World Cup. Like, they don't let anyone score. However, I don't know if they're playing defense on themselves. Maybe it's because they're used to practicing against that defense when they're getting ready. They just cannot find a goal right now. I mean, losing 1-0 to Ivory Coast, that's not the end of the world, simply because Ivory Coast was kind of a sneaky team heading into this. But Ecuador had 27 shots against Curacao. 15 of them were on target, and they just couldn't get one through. So I mentioned it at the top, Andy, full disclosure. I did not make a single pregame bet on any of these games here today. I know a lot of folks, they think Germany is an absolute banger team. They're terrific. They're in insane form right now. They haven't lost a game since losing this weird one against Slovakia to start the year in 2026. So a lot of folks think there's a lot of goals here. Ecuador just doesn't concede. So it's kind of biting the bullet against a Germany team that can rock them up, Andy, but I would say under in this game, but it's not something I bet.
I got Germany or tie on the double chance parlayed with under 3.5 goals. That gets you to -130. That's kind of a way that's a way to take a little bit on this lack of offense from Ecuador. So
yeah,
pretty wild. They have a chance to advance they could advance today with no goal scored
without scoring a goal. Yeah. And here's the thing too, is even if they were to do that, Andy, like, no one wants to face this Ecuador team. Like, no one looks at this as, oh my God, this is a great matchup for us, because they're so freaking tough defensively. They just have to figure it out offensively. And could Germany be a team that they could do it against? Maybe, just because of the frenetic pace they play at, but I'm not trying to catch that falling knife.
Curacao, Ivory Coast. Holy cow. -525 on Ivory Coast. I know they're pretty good, but that's an insane. I have nothing in this game. Whatsoever. I have no takes. The lines are crazy.
Even if you had a case in this one, Andy, you get priced out of it, right? It's like, that's a FU line, because you don't want to pair it together with anything, because you could easily see this being an under game, but you could also see the game script being back and forth and it being an over game. Now, because of that draw, somehow, some way, Curacao, who is a bottom 3 team in this tournament, is alive for qualification. You know what I mean? So if they can be the team that makes the fourth underdog to win outright, I guess that you could technically argue that kind of happened last night with what you saw with South Africa. But yeah, for me, nothing that I want to bet in this one. These are two teams. Ivory Coast is certainly the class in this one, but they shouldn't be a near 6-1 favorite, Andy.
Yeah. We move on to next round of games, Tunisia and Netherlands. This Tunisia team fighting hard to be labeled the worst team in the tournament. They've given up 9 goals.
It's pretty bad.
It's pretty bad. I mean, is Netherlands though? The Netherlands has to win. This is the thing. I mean, this is pound town here. Netherlands, like, to win by clean sheet is minus 200. I don't mind that with an over. Netherlands 2.5 goals. This Tunisia defense is awful. This is the ass kicking game of the day. You have a worst case scenario with Tunisia, who sucks, and Netherlands who needs a big win because they're tied with Japan. What do you think?
Yeah, so that's the thing is, does Netherlands care about being number 1 in the group? If they do, you're spot on. If they're fine with just getting a draw, and if Japan draws their match as well, then both of them are moving on. So, it feels like, yes, Netherlands, they could definitely win this one. They could certainly win it by margin. Tunisia is just an awful side. But the part that worries me is knowing that a draw is a fine result for Netherlands here on match day 3. That's why, again, I completely agree with the way you're seeing this. I just couldn't find something to bet in it, because what is the motivation for these teams? If a draw is just fine, sure, you want to win your group to set yourself up a little bit better down the line. But look at what happened with Canada. Canada lost their group and they got a better matchup. They get to play South Africa now. So does it really matter to win your group?
I think Netherlands accidentally can beat Tunisia.
I do agree with that too. Own goal is in play in this one. Yeah.
Yeah. Let's see. The next game that we have in this group is Japan, Sweden.
Yeah.
I don't think Sweden's that good. I like this minus 110 on Japan. I think it's a great price. You kind of like the over 1.5 goals.
I completely agree with you, Andy. I like this Japan side. I think they are getting very much slept on. I think they are going to be live in the round of 32 and moving forward. I don't hate that. First half, so
pretty good one.
Over full time, take Netherlands in the first half. I think that's a pretty good way to attack that Chi-Town. Good comment there. But this Japan side is also in terrific form. Dude, they haven't lost in 5 matches going back. They haven't lost in over 7 matches. They haven't had a losing result in 8 matches, and it was a 2-0 loss to USA. So this is the team that's in terrific form that I don't think people are talking about enough, because they're not in the class of the Frances and the Spains and the Portugals and the Brazils. But this is a very good Japanese side who can put up goals in bunches. They scored 2 against the Netherlands, 4 against Tunisia. If I was to bet someone, Andy, and I think I might get this one in pre-flop, I don't think it'll be a client play for us, though. Japan team total over 1.5. There's nothing that really enthuses me about this Sweden team. Gave up 5 to the Netherlands. They got a 5-1 win against Tunisia, but it seems like everyone's scoring 5 against Tunisia. But before that, they let up 2 to Greece, let up 3 to Norway, 2 to Poland. So this is a Sweden side that concedes. I think Japan is out to prove something, that they deserve to be in that conversation. I wouldn't be shocked if you had a 3-0 final here, but I think they get at least 2. Give me that Japan team total over. I think that'll be something I bet.
All right. We move on to USA and Turkey. I gave out my thoughts on this game. I like the over 4.5 corners in a game that's meaningless to both teams. I think US kind of pulls the... You guys got to remember, this is a taxing tournament. This is a perfect spot for the U.S. I mean, the Pulisic's not going to play. I mean, maybe you bring him on late just to get a little action in, test out the all hammies. But I think this gets sloppy, and this is certainly not. U.S. fans are going to watch this one, but it's the other game that is going to be the big one in this group. Arguably the game of the day.
Absolutely. It's going to be a lot more competitive. It's going to be a lot more fun. We alluded to it, Andy, like this Turkey side, while they've already been eliminated, they played themselves out of the tournament with what they did in their 2 boxes. But in between in the field, they've controlled possession in both of their matches. Now, I've been looking to fade this United States men's national team because I'm an ultimate contrarian, right, Andy? I took the half goal with Paraguay. Nice pick, asshole. I took the half goal with Australia. Nice pick, asshole. Am I going to do it again here with Turkey? Hell no. For the first time in the game that doesn't matter, Andy, I would actually take money line with the United States here. It's only what, minus 110, minus 115. And here's the thinking, Andy. Does this game matter for them? No. But did the game matter for Mexico last night? No. What mattered? Winning on your home soil, winning in this, I think, and for what it's worth, I think the United States men's team has enough depth that even if they aren't playing their players and even if they aren't really looking to aggress, they can find a goal against this Turkey A team. And does Turkey score for the first time this tournament? Maybe, so maybe if both teams to score is in play. But for me, it's crazy, Andy, because the first game that doesn't matter in this tournament for the U.S., I want to back them on the money line. Figure that one out. That's the only way that I would bet it.
Yeah, if they bring in some players off the bench, those guys are going to be the most motivated guys on the field to try and score. I think it could get a little sloppy.
Chi-Town lives. I think he's talking about this game, and he says, this is my favorite game ever.
Favorite game ever?
I'll tell you what. Round of 32, that will be some more favorite games ever. And also, the path for the United States men's national team to get into quarters is starting to look real, Andy. So we can talk about that a little bit more once matches are set. But United States men's team, this looks like the best incarnation that we've seen of them in my lifetime.
Australia, Paraguay, I don't know, maybe the game of the day, but this is going to determine who comes out of this group. Both teams, one win and one loss. They both lost to the U.S., both won against Turkey. The big thing is a goal differential. Paraguay -2, Australia 0. I kind of like both teams not to score. Australia's just going to put the clamps on. Like it's just, I don't think this Paraguay team is very good on offense. I would say if Australia puts the clamps on, you're going to get a very, very clunky offensive game. And then if Paraguay happens to score a goal, Australia's offense isn't going to get there. So, and then if Australia scores a goal, now they're just going to put 11 in the box. So I got both teams not to score.
Yeah, I completely could see that one being in play. The part that worries me is both of these teams, it's not like they really rack up clean sheets. They're both under 50% on their clean sheet percentage. However, the thing that changes that part of the handicap and why I think those stats don't really matter as much, Andy, is because Australia also has the draw in their pocket, right? Like Paraguay needs a win. Winner of this match is going to be second in the group because of how horrible Turkey played. They changed their name, and I guess they changed their ability to play soccer because, dear God. But the winner of this match is going to be your two. Or in the case of a draw, Australia, because of it, Andy alluded to, that goal differential puts them above. So having that draw in your back pocket kind of being a good mental fortitude spot makes me think there won't be that aggression for Australia. They are completely fine with playing a little kick and a little bit of keep away. And Paraguay, they still, even if they lose, they're still alive to qualify as a third place team. So don't think that this is going to be a bang around, oh my God, high flying. I think, like you said, Andy, it could be an interesting match just because of all that is in play. But yeah, I'm with you. I think both teams to score no. Maybe you just bet the under 2 if you're worried about that. But I could see this being a 0-0, a 1-0 either way. So I think an under is a good way to attack it.
All right, that's your World Cup breakdown. We've got a same game parlay video that is up right now in this game over at the YouTube channel. So go and check that out. Great show today, and we're going to do it again tomorrow. Get you ready for the weekend. Massive show tomorrow. So make sure you're here, same time, same place. 5% NASCAR best bet is up. There's other plays that are attached to it. We hit our 5% play earlier this season. It's our second one, and we're on an 8-1 auto racing run. So really, really happy with that. So go grab that because this play's got to come down on Saturday once qualifying starts. So hit the like, subscribe. Giving away. Ski. I forgot to talk about this.
Ski nailed it.
I committed host malpractice yesterday when I went head to head with Ski and had no clue that the Valkyries were his 5% best bet.
Well, at least
Johnny
he knows his shit.
Detroit.
He was right.
Yeah, Johnny Detroit was texting me as I'm like, the words are coming out as well. That's a 5% play. So I have never been rooting against a play of my own more in my life. Like
the nice thing is, when we do the head-to-heads, Andy, the nice thing is that somebody wins either way. So honestly, when I hopped on here with you this morning, I was like, Well, I was really glad your Atlanta Dream head-to-head with Ski lost, because the 5%er he had was on the Valkyrie. So well done by Ski towing that line there. Well done.
Couldn't be happier. So
And he nailed it.
congratulations. Yeah, he nailed it. The Dream were just awful last time. My God, they couldn't shoot. This is a team that's been playing really well. So a ballsy call from Ski. So put Logan. That's Logan. I'm putting that in to your account now, Logan. So you get a free 3-day pass.
Congrats,
so
man.
Good luck, everyone. So we'll do another one tomorrow for sure before we go into the weekend. So hit the like, subscribe, drop a comment below. Tell us who you like in the games today. Good luck on all your bets. We'll see everyone tomorrow. Take care.